Hello, welcome to another episode of StadiumCast. My name is Martijn. You may call me Inadequance.
And I am Lundberger, also known as Amanda, and it is a pleasure to be here one more week with yet another world champion, or I guess regional champion, right?
Did you just use Future Sight?
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
I'm kidding.
That's the
I'm
thing.
I'm, I'm gonna I'm gonna beat EJ. Welcome, EJ. How are you feeling today?
Hello, I'm feeling good. Happy to be here.
Can you give us a little introduction about yourself?
Of course. I think a lot of people already know me. I'm 23 GB, more known as EJ in the community. I'm from Austria, 26 years old. I'm a father of three.
Wait, 26?
I'm 26.
You're
yeah,
younger
my
than me?
birthday was last week. Yes.
Man, what am I doing in life?
Oh my goodness.
Keep going.
So, okay, so I just lost what I wanted to say. Thank you, Martijn.
Sorry.
It's fine. I like to play Pokemon Go. That's basically my biggest hobby outside of spending time with my family, and I like talking about it. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, and not only do you like to play it, but you're also sort of like a captain of a Pokemon team, right? A PvP team. It's pretty well known, especially in the European community. You're like the founder of Wasted Potential.
Yes, I think it's not only known in Europe. I think the APAC community knows us as well. They may not like us as much, but they know us. But yeah, I'm the founder with Josh. We both founded With the Potential back in Cycle 1, Season 1 of Factions. And I think we advanced through the brackets. And yeah, it's like my baby. With the Potential is like my baby.
It's your fourth baby.
How did your group come together? I like you stole my local Howie, for example. How did you end up with you guys and not with me?
Like I heard Factions is coming up, and I have never done Sylph before, so I haven't played Sylph before. I just played GBL casually, and we were all hanging in that one guys and Darling's Discord server together.
Mm-hmm.
And so we I reached out to Josh because he was like the only one that reached, I think, elite back then in Sylph. And I was like, "Yo, do you know how this thing works? Do you wanna build up a team and get some people in here?" And then we just asked around. Howie wasn't on the initial team. We picked up Howie as cycle after. But we asked Panic. The Panic was our safe spot because he had the biggest roster. He could do anything. We asked Lima. He was like the Master League specialist in Cycle 1. And so we asked Ollie, and then so we came together. We just had a pretty nice team. I think it was 7 players in the beginning of Factions. And then we just started it off, and we actually did way better than we expected.
Yeah, you guys made it all the way up to Emerald tier, and I have to ask because now you can have 10 players on your team, and you've expanded also to have like almost an academy team, the potentially wasteful. How do you decide who's going to play in what, and like, is there ever any hard feelings? Like if it's like, yeah, sorry, you have to go down to the B squad because the A squad is full.
No, I think we have, except for Ilya, who actually asked to be removed down to the B team to help out. I think we have never actually put a player from the A to the B team.
Okay.
So I think it was only Ilya because Poker Squawk back then we moved him up from potentially wasteful to wasted potential. But I think there wasn't a single player that got put down in the B team just because we just never overexpanded the A team. Like the B team was not like an academy; it was more like a second A team that wanted to push for Emerald, and we came pretty close, right? So it was never actually a B team. It was more like, or an academy. It was more like the second A team that tried to grow and try to push to the limits.
Who do you consider to have been your biggest rival in Factions? Yeah, take a sip for that one.
That's a good question. I think that there's like 2 rivalries we have. It's like the friendly with E11. We just always nagged us up. I was like, yeah, come on, we're gonna beat you, and then we just got clapped up again, except for the last cycle. And then there's like the second one with the Snova Tappers, which was actually, I think we started it with the transferably shiny Snova. I think it was like the first faction beef on Twitter, or like considered the first one. And I think it was Snova Tappers would probably be the bigger rival than E11.
Snova Tappers seems to be like everyone's rival. They purposely like to kind of rile everyone up.
They just know the Twitter game, right? They just know how had to.
Well, it was actually just one guy pushing for rivalries, and the others didn't
It was
really care.
it was
Like
under.
it's just Andy.
It was
I think.
under.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
then
was
we
just
were like, okay, there he is with his memes. We guess we have to put out our memes now again.
yeah. But it was also like I think we played Snowbird Tappers already in the qualifying cycle. Like it was our very first opponent in cycle one in the qualifying here. So it was like it started off in the beginning. We lost round one against Snowbird Tappers, and we just never wanted to lose against them again. And in the end, we tied in bout wins against each other, but we are like I think 4 games down and overall wins.
And if you had to say, I mean, you guys did win the last EU potential factions matchup. Do you guys think that Wasted Potential is the best EU faction?
The best is what's the best, right? I think we were the best performing team in the last cycle. There's maybe a debate that Amaretto performed slightly better, but just had less wins over. But I think we were one of the most consistent factions all over EMEA. Like we never relegated. We were close in the first cycle, but we never relegated. We were always in the top 3 to 4. So I think we're like we Snowbird Tappers and EU Emperors are like the most consistent factions in EU. And who's the best? We can afterwards we can try to make a tournament with us 3 and everyone plays each other and then see who is better, Snowbird Tappers or us, because Emperors will surely be the last one then.
Mm-hmm.
How many? Yeah, that is a good point overall. Like, how many Wasted Potential people are going to be playing at Worlds?
If you consider Focus Grog, it's 3. Right? It's me, Logan, and also James and Focus Grog.
And Martijn, how many from EU Emperors?
We're gonna have myself and Scafo. That's it. So it's not coming, unfortunately, to Japan.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I hope EJ forgot, but now I'm actually going to remember. No, of course he didn't forget.
We had
a bet.
Yeah,
we didn't bet on anything, I think.
Now we did bet actually that I make a tweet on EU Emperor's Twitter and your Twitter if I win, and vice versa, right?
Well,
but we also said we consider Thomas, right? Yeah, we also said that we consider Thomas as qualified, right? But I like 3-3, we are tied up, and so therefore whoever wins Worlds takes it all then.
Yeah, let's hope that it doesn't go like Sylph factions.
Woof.
Can you tell us more about that, EJ?
I can. Like we didn't put the money where our mouth was. We just got clapped by Indian Titans. It was fair game. They just clapped us, and then I think we just after that devastating loss, we just couldn't perform anymore. Like we also had to, unfortunately, play without Arsenio and Jumping Lima. They both retired right before Factions Worlds. So it was yeah. We also played with already one last spot, basically last cycle, and then having 2 people retire right before Worlds. It was kind of rough.
Arsenio, what did Arsenio do then?
He's just in Marseille drinking.
Oh,
so he's not playing Go anymore. Yeah, he just doesn't want to play competitive anymore. So
really not for next season either.
No, he even said if there's a Last Chance Qualifier, he wouldn't play because I think he's going to Japan.
No, but I mean for next season, for 2024.
No, I think he's considering the French regional if there is one. It's confirmed it's Lille, but
Lille, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's considering this, but I think nothing else. Yeah,
not going to travel for. Oh, that's too bad. I mean, it was a day 2 qualifier a lot of days as well, and came pretty close overall.
It's a bummer. Also, I loved meeting up with him. We had a lot of fun in the regional. We beat up, but yeah, it did hurt us as well. Like he was one of our best performing players in the last cycle. So losing one of our field specialists who like put in a lot of wins every round it did hurt us.
Yeah, listen, I don't even want to talk about the fact that you guys lost to an APAC team. But you can thank me for bringing them all into your Wasted Potential Discord server.
Yes.
For those who don't know, I made some big claims on Twitter that no APAC team was going to win the very first round of the EU or the World Championships for factions, and they all came to attack.
Yeah, we sacrificed us for world peace.
What happened to Jumping Lemur? I met him in New York, a real finance bro. But he's not interested in playing either anymore.
He's retired. He just has other interests. Doesn't want to play the game. He DM'd me today that he hasn't opened the game in 3 weeks now. So yeah, so a lot of people are losing interest, unfortunately. And I think if you don't keep up to date with PvP, right, if you don't play for like a few weeks, you're actually getting warped. You're getting really warped really fast, and that's what's happening then, right? And if you're washed once, you probably don't get back in that fast anymore, because you have to relearn a lot of stuff, especially if there are like mechanic changes, etc. Then it's like
If you could, or do you have any suggestions for people who are starting to feel like they're getting that burnout on it, or they're not interested in playing? Because you're right. I mean, like, obviously, we love the game and we want to see it continue. What are some ways that you think that would be able to help do that?
what I did. I also was like frustrated last season, last GBL season. I actually didn't play that much. I think I played 500 battles the entire GBL season. Just take a step back, right? So if I don't want to play today, I don't want to play. If I played 1-2 battles, I didn't have fun, I stopped the day, right? I tried the other day again. It's just if I wanna practice game mechanics, I can also play AutoAct against some friends and voice call and have some fun, right? Playing that this game mechanics. I don't need a perfect team to do that. So it's just have fun. Don't try to force yourself to do good. Right? It's not every day is a good day, and if you lose points in GBL, maybe you should start over the other day.
Hey EJ, I wanna talk a little bit about building up to Japan. I
Yes.
think your first biggest achievement that you had in play Pokemon is the Last Chance Qualifier, right? Can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about that? You qualified for Worlds at the very last second. You remember that tournament where I got beaten up by a
By
Swan?
Shadow Swana, yes. I will never forget that.
None of
will
us
never
will never
forget that.
forget.
Yeah. So it was a tough call, right? Because I had some problems actually getting to London, right? I needed other people's help to actually finance the trip and fund the trip to go to London. And I promised everyone who like helped me out that I will try my best to actually qualify and do all it works. So I went to London. I didn't have a team really well ready, so I was like, yeah, I don't know what I want to play. And I was like thinking back at UIC when we talked to each other, and he was like, "Your Pelipper is to play." I was like, "Yeah, I like Pelipper. Why not? Why not just try it out?" Right? And I played the Pelipper Canto Ninetales core, the Fire Spin Canto Ninetales, and it worked out perfectly well for the Last Chance Qualifier. And I think I had a pretty insane day, and I played my best to actually qualify for Worlds. Then I will never forget when I went out of the venue. I think it was like 9 p.m. or 9:15 p.m. We're in there for 12 hours playing straight battles. And after I 6-0 the finals, I went to have something to eat, and you guys were all there. And I think it was like one of the most memorable, the best memories I have from playing the game ever.
And remind us, how did you do overall for Worlds last year? Do you remember your placement?
Yeah, I didn't do that great. I was really exhausted, obviously, the day, and I just didn't really have time to prepare for Worlds. And like I was prepared for Last Chance Qualifier, but playing 2 days straight, it was really exhausting. So I got up in the morning, still tired, and I think the round one, I don't remember who I actually played in round one. So, but I was against Iomero on stream, and I played a pretty
I
impressive
think you
set,
won that
and
one, right?
I won 2-0,
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but he also had like a really good team with Shadow Machamp, if I remember correctly. But I won that one with pretty good play in 2-0, and then I went off stage and I was feeling good again. But then I lost my next round against Mato. I think I got a bye then. Next round. Then I played against Mato, and he ABA'd me. I will never forget this. So I was really mad because he played. I had Shadow Canto Ninetales with Fire Spin, so it like demolishes Revenant and Warwing, and he played them ABA. One game later, I think he played another thing with Warwing ABA weak to fighting, and so I lost because he ABA'd me. I was really mad, and then I had to play Dax in the loser bracket. And Pelipper and Canto Ninetales was basically the main core for my team, and everything was built around that. And he played 4 water types, So it had no play, and I just couldn't get any win out of this. And obviously, I was scared of his Registeel, which I think he couldn't use because he missed. He put in a wrong moveset, so he wasn't allowed to use it. But I didn't know that, so obviously was back at it, and then I just got clapped by him because I couldn't handle 4 water types. I even think he brought triple water in one game against me, so it was devastating. I was really sad going out, but I think I went 25th, and still an accomplishment.
Yeah, no, that's still fantastic, and you've already qualified as well for this year. So I mean,
Yes.
the goal is winning it, or the goal is just a little bit better.
No, the goal is winning it. So I'm not going to Japan to be 24th. So the goal is winning it. I'm going all in. I actually have 6 people who are preparing with me. My team for Worlds who are practicing with me and looking up teams, potential IVs, etc. So we're actually doing a lot of preparation in the background, and I'm actually trying to go all in there.
All right. So I remember. So for EYC 2022, I told you my secret sauce was a developer, right?
Yes.
And now
yes.
for Stuttgart, I took your secret sauce.
Yes.
Can you talk about Stuttgart? How that went for you? So that was, I think you played 2 tournaments. You played 1 or 2 tournaments before Bochum.
I played Stuttgart, then Bochum, then EYC.
Yeah.
Those
Can
were the only
you talk about
tournaments.
Stuttgart?
Yeah, definitely. So we had like a good evening, right? We were like standing in front of your hotel, and I was like, you know what my secret sauce is? You know what I'm playing? I'm playing Dunsparce. You were like, there's no way you're doing that. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It beats Noctowl, it beats Lantern. It's like one of the only core breakers to that core.
I think we discussed it before the moveset update, and then when the moveset update, you were like, yeah, now I'm convinced to run it.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you had double first on your mind, right? And then you went to Dunsparce.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
Yes, it was double, which I played at EYC, which was just horrible. But yeah, it was Dunsparce, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It beats, and you check like your IVs, and then you're like, yeah, you're gonna do this as well. I was like, yeah, build it, and then you actually build it right in front of me, and you registered it, and you did better with it than I did. So I'm happy it worked out for one of us, and I think that was actually the start of Dunsparce in play Pokemon. I think we were like the first to ever use it.
You know what's the most silly about it? You know how Palasha won Turin with Alessio's team, and everyone refers to it to the team as Palasha's team, and Elite's team now, even though it was a mind joke. And now people remind me for the Dunsparce pick, even though it was
which is fine, right? It's
I guess
I think you shouted me out on stream like 3 times.
Yeah,
and
you told me
to
say.
You tried.
You told me to say Dunsparce better than Napoleon. Yep, I did.
Yes. Also, Elephant Flash like cursed on stream because of my Dunsparce, right? In the interview.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I think twice.
No. That,
yes.
Leo had finally said, "Please don't swear." It was
say the F word.
It was pretty funny.
Yes, it was.
Oh my
goodness. Yeah, but Dunsparce was good. I just couldn't make it work. Like I think I maybe played. I actually think I played it too less. It's like Trevenant, right? If there's a Noctowl and Umbreon on the opposing team, you have to bring Trevenant because it has at least one target.
Mm-hmm.
And the same was with Dunsparce. If there's a Medicham, you just still bring Dunsparce because if you avoid it, it's good.
Did you have any practice with it before you played the Stuttgart?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't. I never practiced for tournaments.
I was just hoping it was good.
Yeah, I never practiced. Like I think I haven't practiced in ages for any tournament. So
interesting. But you are practicing for Japan.
I haven't done a single practice battle yet, but I'm pretty sure I will do at least the best of 3 against 1. Yeah.
Now I have a question about that because so you qualified when it was the quote old meta, the very much Noctowl, Trevenant, Lantern meta. What are your thoughts of that compared to what the meta is now, and what do you expect for Worlds? Do you think it's going to be the same, or do you think, or are you hoping it's something different?
I actually think the meta is basically still the same, just without Trevenant. Because I feel like it's just the same meta we are playing. Some people play a few more people play the Shadow Ace-Slash now, but I think that's the only Pokemon that actually has a big appearance. Not talking about Vadash's team because I think that team was just ass. But other than that, I think it's really only the A/slash you have to consider a threat in the current meta. And Shadow Charizard is pretty good, but it was good before then as well. Just no one really couldn't make it work, except for Tauntaun and USC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yokohama. Hey, what do you think of Elite being the first player to sweep from the losers bracket in day 2?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Yeah, I'm happy for him. No, it was quite funny because.
Can you tell us about Bochum?
Yes, of course. I got taken down by Jen into the loser bracket with his Dedenne Luantis score, and I was mad as hell. So I messaged Josh right before the battle, and I said, yeah, there's no way I'm ever gonna beat it. Dedenne. It's like it beats 5 of my mons. I only have Trevenant to actually beat it. And then he was like, yeah, how good is your Registeel? So he sent some matchups for me, and my Registeel was good enough to win the once against it, even if I don't get a debuff on with any of my Zap cannons. I think you need like 130 HP for it. So I actually had 2 counters for it because Registeel consistently you beat it in the zeros and ones. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try my best, and then I just didn't play my usual strategy that I had planned for it, and I just lost. I think it was the second round I actually played in Bochum.
Mm-hmm.
So I went outside. I quit smoking a week before, so I was really close to actually lighting a cigarette and smoke one. But I didn't do it, and I'm happy I didn't do it. And then James was with me outside. We talked for a few minutes, and I tried to get back into my focus. And I think after that, I haven't lost a single game the entire day. I played against Freaker, Super Arky, and another Austrian guy, which I don't remember the name. And I 2-0'd all of them until the group final. So I got into day 2 into the losers bracket, not dropping a single game after I lost to Jan. Then day 2, my first best of 3 was against Arsenio. And he was talking trash to me the entire evening the day before. He looked at me like every 5 minutes. I did the same to him, but he looked at me every 5 minutes like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you tomorrow. He was like talking mad trash about me the entire time. And in the end, he got to the waiter and said, yo, can we have like the 2 of the strongest drinks you have? And then he gave one to me and drank one himself. I just had to go home after this because it was like, I was so drunk. I was so drunk that I just went to the hotel, went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and I was still drunk. So I was like, yo, I hate you, Arsenio. Went to the venue. It was like a 20 minutes walk. I walked there with James. And
he was most likely also still drunk.
Yeah, he was like coming home at like 2, so he was like there for 2 more hours, I think. So he probably had a few more drinks even. But he's Irish, right? He can take it.
Mm-hmm.
So we walked to the venue. We got there almost over again. And then we had to play on stage, obviously, because it was day 2. And Arsenio came up to me and was like, yo, he's done. Like, he's drinking orange juice. He's fit. He's gonna beat me. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm still drunk. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna beat you anyways. And then we went on stage, and I think he won game 1. I was pretty nervous then because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go 2 against Arsenio. I'm not gonna take this. Then I beat him in the second game. Then in the third game, I think he made a slight mistake. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something with his Shadow Sableye, and it ended up favorable for me, and I beat him in the last game. And that was the last game I lost until the losers finals. Then I had to play Benchstyler. I showed him. I think I played Marcus Asius Aurelius afterwards. I 2-0'd him. And then I had to play John again in the losers finals. And we had to do the interview right before the battles. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna flag him. I'm gonna make him feel his Dedenne is so good and so safe against me that he wants to bring it every game. And I think I mentioned his Dedenne like 5 times in the interview. How good it is against my team. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do all the mental stuff. I was like, I'm gonna flag him to bring Dedenne every game, and I think he actually fell for it.
You were just getting all the ingredients before you get to cook, right?
Yes. And I was already cooking there. So I was already cooking the hours. No, and then we played the first game, which I lost because of lag, and I was pretty mad. I disputed it. Ilya gave the rematch. almost instantly I took one wing attack too much, which like basically made my medic KO. I would have won the game otherwise. But then I fortunately won the rematch by RPSing him pretty badly. So, and then we are playing down game 4. I think I played the worst game I've ever played in my entire life. I had like 0 lose cons and I found 6. So I threw the game like insanely hard, and I tried to come back from it, and I just thought that here's one logical team to play in the last game. It was the then and Noctowl Umbreon just playing basic ABB against my Trevenant, so I just RPS'd him. I just let Trevenant, had Azu on the swap, so I could maybe bait out the Den if I have to for his Umbreon, and I had Registeel in the back for the Noctowl, and I think no matter how bad I play there, I just can't lose this game. As I won and went on to the grand finals against James, and I think we all know how that will end.
Yeah, you said, it was so much fun to RPS Chun that I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it for the grand finals.
Yes, it was quite fun because like for me it was fun. For James, I think it wasn't. I think he said he hates the game like 15 times during the first best of 3. We were also having a lot of fun. Like we were singing together because we had mascot, right? Nobody could see us. We were like singing the Pokemon theme or Wannabe from the Spice Girls. We were like singing all the time and joking around. And after the first best of 3, we had like a small break. We went into the best of 5. We went into the second one where I lost the first game. And then I RPS'd him like 2 times again. I was up 2-1. And in the last game, he said like, yeah, please, EJ, don't RPS me for once. And I already locked in my team, and I was like, yeah, then don't lead Medicham. And he leads Medicham into my Trevenant, and I RPS him again. So it was, yeah. We both knew once we saw the leads that there's no coming back from him. And
I think the thing with that is, they were very quick matches. There's not a lot you can do if the safe swap is also kind of hard countered. But
he's safe swap.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he safe swapped A9 against me. He safe swapped A9 against my Registeel like I think 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely my fault that RPS came up.
I guess it just became predictable at some point, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just his most safe Pokemon if I don't bring Registeel. But there was no way I don't bring Registeel ever, right? So in my opinion, I was like, if I don't lead Registeel because I don't expect an A9 lead, and if I see an A9 lead, like I can save for Registeel and just try to win switch against whatever, because I didn't expect the Diggersby at all. So it was just some mind games there.
What do you think of Registeel right now?
My opinion, it's still the best Pokemon in the meta, and I'm definitely gonna bring it towards, and that.
I hope you do.
Like the only, I definitely do. You can bring your Shadow Charizard. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about Shadow Charizard. I don't care about Trevenant. There's like nothing that beats Registeel Upper Shield insanely hard in the current meta, and if you can set it up, it's just the best Pokemon.
So competitors take notes. EJB is for sure at least bringing a Registeel on the team.
Well,
if you don't expect Registeel, expect Registeel at Worlds, you're doing something wrong there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, how do you feel about Registeel opposed against G-Fisk right now? We've seen so fewer G-Fisk, right? Or Galarian Stunfisk.
Yes, which I don't really understand. I don't know why it should be worse than it was before. Right? Sandslash is not. Yeah, but Lantern wants Spark nowadays, right? No one wants Watergun Lantern, I feel like. I haven't seen one. I don't think I've seen a lot of Watergun Lanterns at the moment.
I feel like a lot of the winners of the most recent ones, or at least people who have qualified, a lot of them were running Watergun Lanterns over Spark Lanterns.
I think I saw the Dracoviz made lead on the Lantern usage. I think it was kind of even between Spark and Watergun in top card usage. So I don't think I mean it's not like Registeel is good against Watergun Lantern, right? You still lose that consistently. So I don't know why. Actually, there's like a really wicked G-Fisk IV-Spat that actually beats Watergun Lantern in all even shields if you land one bait. So it's actually if you run that and get a bait off, you can overcome Lantern even in the 2s, which is quite funny.
Did you learn that from James, from Lurgan Rocket? He's a man of all the IV spreads.
I think actually James and I figuring out a lot of IV spreads together. Nice. And try to hunt them if they're around. But I don't know if he came up with that or if I did. But yeah, we figured it out together. I'd say that like that.
Speaking of worlds, did you get lucky with the lotteries for the Pokemon events?
Yeah, I didn't win a single one. So
I've seen so many people didn't win a single thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I was today I woke up and I was like, yeah, I got an email like all Japanese figures, and I was like, oh, can I go there and can I go there? And I was like, I checked in and I was all Japanese, and I scrolled down because it says English follow something. Then I just scrolled down. And I was like, you didn't win the draw. And I was like, yeah, why do you send me an email then? Just don't. Like I was so hyped, and yeah, but I think that's it's a bit messy, all those lotteries. Like imagine you don't compete and go there as a spectator, and then you just don't get drawn in any lotteries or whatever.
There are like
yeah,
players from the community also.
Yeah,
have not been able to get a spectator pass.
Yeah, I know. I gave 2 away for free, so people DM'd me asking if I still have them. So I said, yeah, they're around. Just take them. I don't care. And also the Pokemon Center appointment, right? They just people DM'd me because you can bring up to 3 as a competitor on Thursday. I was like, yeah, as long as I have space, just come with me. And so I think it filled up like at 10 a.m. in the morning. It already filled up. So I had all 3 spots taken.
Yep.
It's a bummer, right? Imagine you pay a lot of money for the trip, and then you just you don't have a spectator pass because you didn't win the lottery. Yeah, you can't go to the Pokemon Center because you didn't win the lottery. So it's I don't think it's fine. Also, I'm pretty sure because I haven't seen anyone except for Morita actually win the Wednesday time slot. So I think there are also a lot of bots that actually just got in there, right? So a lot of programming. You don't need a lot of programming skill to actually get bots in there.
Maybe, but there's like the Japanese PvP community is actually like massive. Like on their qualifier stream, they have like 4K viewers. That's 4 times more than the NA ones do, which is pretty insane. So I don't know if it's bots per se, but yeah, it's.
I guess we find out. We will see some. A few people probably sell some spots on Twitter and on other platforms, which is just wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, I wasn't lucky, unfortunately.
Not lucky in that, but maybe lucky in actual worlds. Are there anyone that you're hoping that you're going to face, or anyone that you're hoping that you're going to avoid?
Actually, there was like the Twitter thing where a lot of people tagged each other for stuff like that.
Yeah, you made fun of everyone who did that. You called it like a middle school chain.
Yes. It was like if you don't send it to 10 other people, your family's gonna die. And it feels like something like this we had on Facebook like 10 years ago. But I was like, yeah, I got tagged like 3 times. I was like, yeah, it feels kind of arrogant if I don't do it back. And so I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, is there anyone I actually don't want to face? And I was like, yeah. I think there's not a single person I'm actually afraid of facing. I also said the other day, I think there's like only one person in the entire tournament that I feel like I've never faced or like never noticed I've faced. Because, I think it was 122 competitors, and I have faced at least everyone once in GBL or still 4 factions or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy.
Except for one. That's Human Catcher-Bug.
You've never faced off against
I've never faced Human Catcher-Bug. I don't think I've ever faced him. Like I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember facing him ever in GBL, and I've never faced him in Silph or any other form of tournament. So he's like the only person I don't know how he plays. I also have never. I think I'm the only person in the community who hasn't watched a single YouTube video of him. So I might do this before Worlds, but he had a lot of good things about this, so I might check it out.
I mean,
but he's like the only person I've never faced so far.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be like silly to prepare for just one person, right? When there's like
I'm not preparing I'm not preparing for one person anyways. Right? It was the same thing. Why would I? I'm not a.
Just
you're like
you're not a threat.
You're probably one of the persons I faced the most, right? So in a lot of practice tournaments. I think we have never faced infections, but a lot of practice tournaments.
No, you always want to face the easier Dutchman. So
yeah, the retired one, the actually retired one. So.
We'll see how long.
But yeah, I guess we have never faced there. But no, I'm not preparing for anyone in particular. I just wanna prepare the best I can for the entire thing, and I also said when building my team, I have like 2 drafts of team that I potentially will play, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna prepare for any particular Pokemon, right? Because if I get RPS, I get RPS, right? But I just don't wanna lose because I forgot about a single Pokemon and that sweeps me. That's like the last thing I wanna have.
Yeah, fair. All right, that's clear. I just have one more question. Did you practice your Japanese well for Worlds?
No,
Not at all. You're gonna rely
not
fully
at
on
all.
me.
Yes, I do.
know 5 words.
Yes, I do. That's 5 words more than I do. So I just didn't have the time and patience to actually get some in, and I figured out that probably Google Translate will be my best friend there, because you can just put the camera on and everything, and it translates into any language you want. And
yeah, I think that's mostly what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just couldn't learn Japanese within 3 months.
To be fair, I was in Japan for like 2 weeks a couple years ago, and I also didn't learn any. And yeah, you can 100% get by on English alone. And also, I thought it would be weird because if you look at me, I kind of look Asian. I don't know. It seems weird because my last name is Lundberg, so you would think I would look Swedish. But I was like, when I was in China, they all thought I was Chinese. But when I was in Japan, no one thought I was Japanese. And they always spoke to me in English. And so I was really puzzled. But I think it's maybe because I have a tattoo, and it's not super common for people to have tattoos. So they're like, yeah, that girl's not from around here.
Read the other day that you have to cover them up if you want to go into if you want to go like swimming or something like this.
Yeah, if you're going to go to a sauna.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Because I also have tattoos, right? Not big ones, but I have tattoos. So I actually read up what if I'm allowed to do, and they don't show them in public anyways, right? They usually have tattoos. They usually have tattoos where you don't see them. Yeah, like or the upper arm where the t-shirt covers it, and like this. So maybe that's the reason, right? If you have like a obviously visible tattoo, that they assume you're not Japanese then.
Yeah. I have to know now. What tattoos do you have, Vijay?
It's just a compass on my chest, and I have like a small writing on above my wrist. It's just a sleep.
What does it say, if I may ask?
You will find out. You will find out in Japan.
All right.
I will tell you.
What are you gonna get, Martijn? Well, let's make some sort of thing. Martijn's got to get a tattoo while you guys are in together. So at some point.
Something, but I already forgot. It was too complicated. And
probably a Dunsparce on your back.
Yeah, it's like a tail starting in the neck, and then it runs all the way
down. Yes.
No. It would have been something personal, but maybe someday. I want to go into the last topic that I have here for you, EJ. What are your expectations? Apologies, for the 2024 season of Play Pokemon.
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't think you came up with it on your own, but it's too good. No, I actually thought about it, and if you pull up your trainer profile on Play Pokemon, like if you log in with your Trainer Club account, you can actually see that there's European Masters Pokemon Go point system, right? So I do expect there to be maybe a championship point system to qualify for next year's Worlds. Because we're kind of capped on 122 to 128 qualifiers through the system we have currently, right? If we want to grow the entire thing for Go, we probably have to go into Swiss brackets with championship points, and we're going to have to do the step some year. I don't know if this year is already it, because we couldn't fill up all the tournaments, right? We just couldn't reach out with competitors in every tournament, but maybe it's a thought that they have, and if they do, they have to start it basically with the first tournament in. Is Barcelona the first one, or is the NA1 first?
Pittsburgh is the first one. That's I think.
So they're gonna have to.
Yeah, like the 8th of September.
Yeah. But... So they're gonna have to start it there. Also, the NA leaderboard is already up again, right? So you can already check out the championship. I think it's play points there, where you actually.
Is it already for the next season?
Start. Yes. Wow. Yes, it is. Yes, yeah. So if we get it for EU, they probably have to announce it soon, so we don't fall back on points. Back hard if we have this. It's split up by regions anyways, but I mean, if you grind for points, you probably want to be the global number one, right? So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What are your personal thoughts on points? Do you like that system more, or would you rather have it be first and second with the cascade like it is now?
Well, I obviously did pretty well in the current system, right? I qualified for Worlds 2 times in a row,
Nice, yeah.
so I did like it. And like I said earlier, I'm a father of 3, right? I have a family at home. I don't have the capacity to actually travel to maybe 6 regionals every season, like I did 2 last year. Last season I did the USC. I think it was only UIC and Last Chance Qualifier. Right? This year I did Stuttgart, Bochum, so like the 2 German ones, and UIC. So if I don't have to, I don't have one. I have to travel to more because it's also not that cheap, right? To be fair, if you have like 5-6 regionals, each one costs like 2 to 3, maybe 400 euros, depending where it is and how good your connection flights are. Because I live in the middle of nowhere, right? I always have to go to Vienna, which already costs me personally like $100 to get to Vienna to the airport. So it's not easy for me. So I'm not a fan of the point system per se for myself, but I think it's a fair system if I think of people like a Mind Joke, Dex, people who do really, or even Arsenio, who do really, really good in a lot of tournaments, but just can't get the final push to make top 2, or are not lucky enough that the cascade's down enough, right? Like a Mind Joke went 4th in Malmö, right? And right behind Denki-chan, and Denki-chan got the invitation, and Mind you, missed out on it again, and I'm pretty sure he would have qualified if you take the point system into account for this season. So I guess it's just fair, or more fair than it is now. But to be fair, like winning a regional or going second is also a bit of luck involved. And if you're third and get the invitation, yeah, it's also a lot of luck involved, right? So
no, I think if you're third and you get an invite, it doesn't count, and you probably aren't as good of a battler as people who.
Are you implying something?
I do agree, but only if you do it in a German regional. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll give you that stipulation. Only people.
Respect to Denki-chan, but if you do it in Stuttgart or in any other German country, you're just not good enough for Worlds.
Yep.
No, but just joke. You did well.
I can't get a little bit of respect on any of these podcasts.
You did last week.
That's true. Yeah, Arcus Aurelius gave you some kind words at points, sprinkled in.
Turn it around again.
Yes, because that's the spirit of the podcast.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Troll inadequance. Amanda, I'll leave you the honors of doing the last question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, this is the staple question that we ask all of our guests. So we're going to ask you to name some battlers that fit into categories. So name a battler who you think would be considered a brawler. And this is someone who maybe they're not super well known in the PvP community, but you really see them as an up-and-comer. Mm-hmm. And then name someone who is a champion, someone that, probably is already qualified, super well known, and really has a shot of winning Worlds. You can say yourself, but let's say maybe besides yourself.
Yeah, and also
I'm not gonna name myself.
Before you answer that, I bought some Waste Potential merch. Just saying.
That's true. I still have to order it though, but that's true. I mean, I knew I would get this question, but I just didn't prepare it, and
it's like Worlds.
It's like Worlds. Yeah, it's like Bochum. I knew I'm gonna play there, but I'm not gonna prepare for it. So. Who is a quad brawler? It's a good question. There are like a lot of players in the community that are really good, and maybe I want to give. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one because like everyone who is qualified for Worlds can't potentially be a quad brawler, right? Because they already have an achievement and they are probably known as well. So it's probably someone who just came close. He's well known, but he hasn't qualified this year or last year. But I really wish he will do next year. I think it's Trent. He's probably one of the most unluckiest guy we have in the entire community, and he's a really good person, a really nice guy, a lovely guy, and I wish he qualifies next year. So I will name him as my quad brawler and wish him the best for next season and hope he doesn't fall short again. And as a champion. Who is in the champion? My champion is James.
Yeah,
it's Logan Rockhead. He's handsome. He's funny. He has everything. He's a great battler. He's a great person, and he's he's my personal champion as well. So
he was our first ever regional champion as well for Play Pokemon. So yeah, he's got some kudos to his name.
And he's so funny.
He's so funny. It's a fun dude.
So yeah, it's James.
For those who are just listening to the podcast, there's a silent tear rolling down Martine's face as he is once again not named as someone's champion, but maybe next time.
It's unfair calling Martine out as a champion here on the podcast because I don't want to push his ego even further.
Yeah, his head's going to get so big that it just fills up the whole screen.
I'm only the best.
I don't think I'm the best, but...
I'm going to have a tough race being the best in Netherlands, to be honest. Yeah. There are a lot of good Dutch players.
It's true.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're not the best Dutch player. I'm not saying you're not the best Dutch player, but it's a tight race in the Netherlands.
Yeah, depends on what perspective you look at it.
And because we haven't mentioned it yet on this podcast episode, and we mention it every episode, I think you beat like a regional champion at EUIC, didn't you, Martine?
It's true. I did knock out me, Weedle, the prediction that all the other EUIC casters had to win the EUIC, and I knocked him right out of it.
It's a perfect way to end the podcast.
It was beautiful when he swapped in his Araquanid into my Charizard instead of just throwing a Hydro with a Swampert. Yeah, that was a really good play by me. It happens.
Outskilled.
Alright, thank you, EJ, for coming on. Yeah, I hope you had a good time with us. Thank you for making time for us.
I did. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, and good luck at Worlds.
Thank you very much.
But not too much luck. Not against me.
I don't need luck against you.
You're assuming you just lose, right?
No.
Oh. We'll see. Alright, thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye!
Bye!